Hello everybody, how you doing? Wee Paddy from across the shock, and I'm doing a wee quick sharpening this morning. This was requested by one of my subs, that he had bought the wee dozier K-bar and he had tried to sharpen it, resharpen it. He'd used it, blunted it, tried to resharpen it, but he just couldn't get an edge on it. And I'm going to show you mine first of all. This is a newish one to me. I've had so many of these. So I put a little sharpening choil in at the bottom. I do that with all knives that haven't got a sharpening choil. I put it in because I find it much easier then to get a nice even edge. So I was sitting thinking, and I could be totally wrong. This is just my thinking, that either the heat treat is not great on his knife, which can happen. I mean, that's just part of, the knife world, or the fact that it's been ground just a wee bit thin behind the edge, that he's not getting down to the edge. Now, I don't know this fella. I don't know how good he is at sharpening, but he'd asked me would I do a video sharpening one of these. So what I'm going to do is, sometimes when you have a fixed system, again, this is in my head, the lowest level, if it's a Lansky, is about 17 degrees. So if your knife is 16 degrees behind the edge or 15 degrees behind the edge, you're not getting down to that edge, so you'll never get a good edge on that knife. Now, that's my thinking. Please come in down below and tell me I'm wrong. But I'm going to sharpen, like I sharpen all most of mine by hand. Now, I don't use systems very often. I have my Venev stones. I have a coarse, medium and large. I'm going to start at the second one up as far as the coarse goes, not the very coarse, but just the second one up. And the reason I'm going to start, if you start with a coarse edge, it removes the metal quickly. You don't have to spend a lot of time getting down to that next stage. And the least metal you can take off, the better. This is perfectly serviceable, this knife. I mean, this is a lovely knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blunt it on the stone. That noise people don't like. There we go. That should do it. Okay, that's pretty blunt. So what I'm going to do is just go through my sharpening routine, especially with something that's got a hollow grind. I believe that this is the most important. Look, with all sharpening, you have to get that burr. And again, for those of you who don't know, the burr is when you sharpen one side, you're dragging the metal up and over the top. And until you can feel that metal right along the top edge, where you've dragged it over to this side, say you're doing this side and you've dragged it over, you must be able to feel it from the top to the toe. You just have to. You have to feel that before you move on to the next stone. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to show you. And sometimes you have to drop the bevel. If you've got like a hollow edge that's quite thin, mine's all right. I don't think it's particularly thin, but they all don't come exactly the same, and you have to sort of adapt. So that's my theory what he's maybe doing wrong. He's got a fixed system that maybe only goes down to 17 degrees, and his knife has actually been cut a bit shallower. So I'm going to start with a stone. These Venev stones are great. They're just wash and go. You just put a bit of water on them and you're ready to go. You don't have to soak them. You just do it. I've used these quite a lot now. And Sally made me a lovely little pouch, so I have them all in there. So what I'm going to do is just find the edge on this. And what I'm trying to do is get the metal from the bottom of this up onto the top. And when I have my sharpening choil in there, it lets me get right up to the edge, and then I don't get recurves. I don't mind a recurved blade if that's what I've chosen, but I don't like putting one in that's not there, not supposed to be there. All my Spydercos, every single one of them I put a sharpening choil in as soon as it comes to that first sharpening. And that's quite a sharp, a tough stone, so I'm going to see. It's nearly there already on that stone, so I'm just going to I hope you are all well today. Saturday, of course, over here in the UK, Saturday afternoon, and just fancied doing a wee different video today. I didn't fancy reviewing a knife today. So again, just keep on checking, because that's it. I've taken that burr, so I've sharpened on this side. I brought the burr onto this side, so now I want to take that burr and put it back on that side. So it's just a matter of turning the knife over, finding your angle, and then doing the same thing again. And this is just practice. When you find your angle, it's just practice. And then you can repeat it quite constantly, and it's easy to do. It's not something you even think about. You just throw the knife down, and if it's not getting the bevel, you tilt it up or tilt it down, whichever way it needs doing. And we all do them different ways, especially when you're doing it by hand. Everybody has a different way of doing it. So I'm not going to keep on going at that for a long time, because that's quite a coarse stone. So I've cut on this edge, so I want to feel. Now I'm everywhere barring that little top part. So I want to say, you must make sure you get it all the way up. A very quick wipe. Would you believe there's a wee bit in that belly there that I didn't get? So again, don't rush. This is the most important part of your sharpening. This is the bit. If you get this first one right, the rest is easy. Again, let's give it a wee wipe. There we go, we got it all the way up. So what I tend to do, once I've swapped it over, then I just gently do both sides to get rid of the burr and to make it all nice before I go to the next stone. Now I know other people do it different ways. I just take it, especially on the coarse stone, I'll take it once over each side, and that's it, and I move on. And all I'm doing here is just trying to keep that edge and moving on to, I like to have a really sharp edge on the first stone right through to the last before I move on to that next stone. And the only way to do that, and you can see how much dirt that is taking. Well, maybe you can't. Let me just show you. This is quite a coarse stone. Look at the dirt. You can see that. Yeah, I mean, this takes quite a bit of metal off. That's why I don't stay too long on that coarse stone, but stay long enough. So there we go. And what I'll do is I'll just check there. Now that's the coarsest stone, and that's a nice sharp edge. So now I'm quite happy. I can move down stones. So I'm going to a medium stone, and I'm going to the harsher of the two medium stones. And this is probably about, I don't know, 300. Not too sure. I don't even know. I don't know how to work the things. So I just know this is the medium stone, and there's two edges to it. So I'm starting the rougher of the two edges on my medium stone. And I'll start again. See, there's so many different ways to do a knife. And I would say this is probably about 15 degrees now, so maybe that was the case that, and what am I doing changing over? You see there's careless for you. I would say this is about 15 degrees, but I don't know, I guess most of the time. Just keep doing it to that burr. That tells you your burr, if you're going to follow an edge, the burr is what tells you where you are and what you're at. You don't have to, you know, I don't have to worry about what the exact angle is. As long as my knife cuts, I honestly don't care. And I know that's, I don't know what that is, but it's just me. Completely up the edge of it, not a problem. Didn't take a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is now change over to the other side and take that burr off. And I'm going to move that edge over to this side. And let's just see if I've got it. So I'm cutting on this side, so I want to check that edge. Just going to keep going at that back end. Again, my problem always is the back ends. Back ends and tips. Just make sure you get them. There we go. I wish you could hear it, because you can actually hear when you're running your fingernail over the end, you can hear straight away. Some people use a torch and shine it down to get the reflection. I like to have my fingernail. But it probably means I go just that wee bit longer to get that burr a wee bit bigger so I can do that. But that's okay, because that means I'm definitely getting there. I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to turn this over on this side. And I'm going to just take it off. And like I say, I'm not really talking a lot because I wanted to make sure that this was going to be all right for the fella who asked me. And to be honest with you, I've lost his comment, so I can't even go back. Well, I could do, but, and that's another thing I want to do. I truly apologise. It's really difficult to try and keep, when you're knocking a video out every day, and because you are such amazing people, I get so many comments. And I love every one of them. And when you get the heart, that means I've read your comment. I don't just do it automatically. So although maybe this last wee while, this last few days, I haven't been able to catch up, and I'll get there eventually, hopefully. But when I hit the heart, that means I have read your comment in its entirety, because some of them are a page long and they're marvelous. I love them. I really, really love it. But I've just done so many videos recently. Catching up is just, it's just a nightmare. In a really good sense, because I appreciate that you take the time to write me your comments. So keep doing that. Please do not stop doing that. I love that part of my subs. And if you haven't, I'm sure you've maybe seen as you come to this video, there's a wee giveaway going. Please all join in on that wee giveaway. It's not a very expensive knife, but it's a nice wee knife, I'll have to say. So, again, another side done. Absolutely fine. So again, turn over to the other side of my medium stone, and this is where I might just stop, because this is a little work knife. This is not a delicate little flower. This you're going to take out and use for anything rough, or because you can. It's such an inexpensive knife. I love the K-bar dozier. Such an inexpensive knife, but it can be used for anything. And if you leave it on the sort of roughish side of smooth, you can get a really good edge and a bit of a toothy edge which goes through cardboard, anything you want to cut, a bit of wood even. So in this one, this is probably somewhere up near the 600, 800 with the feel of it. Not sure. I'm not, when I say the feel of it, I sound like I'm some sort of expert. and I am not, that is for sure. But these Venev stones, again, I'm going to keep promoting them. I get them for nothing, and you can take that as you like. The fact that I'm using the big stones, the small stones, I got these for down the caravan. So I thought for a wee, a wee knife that I probably have down the caravan and use down there for, just rough work about the caravan. I thought, well, I'll do them on the wee stones. Plus the fact it gives me a bit more practice. I love the big stones and I'm really competent with them, but I'm getting better with these wee ones. And this is quite smooth, although it's a medium, so it's quite smooth. So this stone I'll probably have to spend a wee bit longer than the other to get a burr up, because I still want to get a burr up on this knife. It just keeps me right, because with the last two stones, I don't go for a burr, they're just polishing stones. This is still a cutting stone. So let's just see where we are. I'm just good. It's all the way up. It's all the way up already. So let's change her over. And I say, I know my mate Jeff's been on. I haven't even got to watch Jeff's videos yet, and I can't wait to get to watch his videos. If you want to know how to sharpen, I'm probably not the best person to come to. I'm getting better, but I'm very rough. I don't have the, I can't tell you all the scientific names, and I know I can get a knife sharp, but that's all due to Jeff Jewell. Honestly, I just followed his, and I don't do the same as him, not completely the same as him by any means at all, and he uses so many different stones, and that's what I like about Jeff. He'll not just use one stone. There's very rarely he'll get the same stone 2 videos in a row. And again, that's part of sharpening. He is very technically, he knows exactly what he's doing technically, whereas I don't. I just know, right, get the burr, not at the bottom. It's the one thing he taught me right from the beginning. Get that burr. Once you've got the burr, you're in with a fighting chance of getting a sharp knife. So again, I'm just checking, constantly checking. There you go. That's it all the way up. So this is going to be the final sharpening stone I'm going to use. The next stones would be honing stones, which I think they're about I don't know, 1,000, 4,000 or something like that. I really don't know. Oh sugar. There you are. I didn't pay attention and I just gouged into that. I might have even blunted the blade, and I'll have to do it all over again. That'll teach me not to take my time. So although this is I don't know whether you can see that, you can see the stuff on it. Although this is a fairly smooth stone, it still removes enough metal, and you don't want your knives, the longer you can hold on to your knives, the better. That's why I don't advocate going and going and going. Once you get the burr stopped, you don't need to get this huge big burr. It just needs to be all the way up. I don't know whether I've blunted this, and I'll not know till I try cutting a bit of paper. What I've done is I lifted up and then gouged, which is the one thing you don't do, because diamonds are harder than metal and they will gouge you and you have to start again. Maybe not, you might even have to go right back to the very beginning stone, not just the one before. Well, we're okay. That's a really good edge. Very happy with that edge. So I shall now just give this one more wee go. I know I said, but this is the final stone. It doesn't take, it takes me 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna lift up a slight wee bit and just get that nice crisp edge on it. And I'm doing it gently. There's no weight on this at all. I'm literally not even the weight of my finger. This is as light as you like, and it just gives me a nice crisp edge. really light. If I could stop talking, you would hear that there's no pressure. So would I recommend them Venev stones? Oh, I can't tell you. They're just amazing. I'll put the link down below to them as normal. They're just good. I love them. That's, you know, is that sharp enough? Yes. Now, again, once you've finished, again, that's quite rough. I haven't even gone to my honing stones. I'm just going to have a bit of leather on there and have a bit of leather on there. This is about, I think this is this is 4 and this one's 1 on the diamond scale. So I'll do this side first. And I haven't put any on here for ages, but it just keeps working, so I just leave it the way it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Once it stops sharpening my knife, I'll stop doing it. Turn it over. And again, this is just a go. This is a wee set that I take down the caravan that I use, and that's what is nice. The Venevs comes, my big Venevs are 8x4 or 8x3.5, and these are little small things. I don't even know what size they are. These are 4.5 by 1.5. So they're so handy, and Sally made me that wee pouch. I can just put them in it, and they're easy for transport. This is fancy. This is kangaroo leather. I Heart Knives sent me some kangaroo leather, and I absolutely love it. It just puts a great edge, and you'll probably hear that now. It is just lovely. Really nice edge. I'm not the best cutter in the world, but that edge from tip right and down, it is right down to the tip sharp, and that's all I want in a knife. Can you see that? Right the way down. Perfect little knife. So to the boy who sent me the comment, I hope this helps. I've just gone to a toothy edge here and a bit of a strop, and this is ready to do a day's work. It might just be that your system that you're using, if it's Lansky, doesn't go down low enough to get down to the edge of your blade. So maybe if you can freehand, do freehand is my best suggestion. If you can't do freehand, learn. Because a knife like this, a $20 knife, it's worth learning how to do freehand, because this is a great little knife. It might just be that you need to give it a couple or 3 sharpens, that the edge of your blade has got a bit burnt. When they were grinding in the hollow grind, like all blades, some get burnt because they hold it just that little bit extra. So maybe it takes 2 or 3 sharpenings to get the edge to retain once you got past that fatigue bit. So try that, but I would try dropping on the angle, do it freehand if you possibly can, because there's just showed, you know, that is this is just a bog standard knife, and that's right down to the tip sharp in not very long. I mean, it's Oz 8, so it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but don't take more than you need, but make sure you get enough that you can feel the burr the whole length of the knife. There you go. Tuition from Paddy. Take with that from whoever you can. It works for me. I'm a bit simple, but I can still get a sharp edge. All the very best. Goodbye now, boys. Bye. And girls, sorry. All the best. Right, cup of tea time.